Hello everyone, happy to see you here. Today we have a really interesting exponential equation x to the power x to the power 2 equal to 2. We need to solve this equation for x, so if you have your solution, your answer, you can also write it in the comments below and then we will check our answer. So let's start. First of all, let's rewrite this equation right here. So we have x to the power 2 and equal to 2. Right now I'm going to do a really interesting trick. I'm going to raise both sides, so let's raise both sides to the power 2. So let's square our both sides. On the left side we have x to the power 2 and of course to the power 2 right here because we're raising our left side, and equal to 2 to the power 2. So we change nothing, so we just raise both sides to the power 2. So what we're going to do next, we need to remember really interesting algebra property. This property looks like that. So everyone knows this property. This is the basic one. So when we have a to the power x raised to the power y, everyone knows that this is equal to a to the power x times y. That's why, according to this multiplication, we can easily swap these x and y, because we can write it as a to the power y times x, because 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. And as a result, we can write it as a to the power y raised to the power x. So if we look in the beginning, we have a to the power x, so inside this parenthesis, and in the end we have y inside parenthesis. So saying in other words, we can easily change these y and x by each other, by position. Okay, so that's why I'm gonna rewrite this line from here. So let's do it. So we have x to the power 2 raised to the power 2 equal to 2 square. So just saying in other words, this x square we can call, for example, as x, yeah, this power inside parentheses, or not like x, a and b, doesn't matter. These two we can call as y. So we can easily change this x and y position. So we can write x square outside parentheses, and these two we can write inside these parentheses. So let's look closely. How can we write it? We can write it as x to the power 2, we can write inside parentheses, and this one we can write outside. So x squared to the power x squared. Maybe it's easier for us to work with a and b, not x and y, because we have x right here, but I hope you understand what I mean. Okay, equal to 2 square. And right now we have x square right here and we have x square right here, so we can easily write a substitution. So for example, let this x square equal to, for example, let's work with a. Okay, x square equal to a. So that's why we have the next equation. We have a to the power a equal to 2 to the power 2, and it's really easy to see that from here a is equal to 2. Okay, because we have the same base and we have the same exponent, so that's why a is equal to 2. But let's go back to our substitution. So we have x squared equal to a. So from here we have x squared equal to 2. So from here x is equal to plus minus square root of 2. So x first and second is equal to plus minus square root of 2. So right now let's check this root. Let's prove this root. So let's do the check right here. So check x first equal to, let's go with the plus sign, so x first equal to square root of 2, and on the right side let's check x second equal to minus square root of 2. So here's our question, x to the power x. So let's write it, x to the power x to the power 2 is equal to 2. So let's check, for example, square root of 2. Let's do it. So we have x to the power x, we have square root of 2 to the power square root of 2 to the power 2 is equal to 2. Okay, so what do we have as a result? Let's start from the end. So we just go from the top to the bottom. So first of all, square root of 2 to the power 2, square root of 2 to the power 2. We can easily cancel this square root of sign, so this is equal to 2. So we have the same base, square root of 2, and we just have 2 from here. So square root of 2 to the power 2 equal to 2. And I hope this is a correct expression, because square root of 2 to the power 2, we can easily cancel this square root sign with this 2, and we have 2 equal to 2. Okay, right now let's check our x second equal to minus square root of 2. So let's do it. So instead of this x, we plug in this minus square root of 2. So minus square root of 2 to the power minus square root of 2 to power minus square to the power 2 equal to 2. Okay, so according to the same logic, we can start from the top to the bottom. So we're gonna simplify this expression minus square root of 2 to the power 2. Basically, we can write it on the right side. So if you have problems with this expression, so square root of 2 minus square root of 2 to the power 2, we just multiply this expression by each other. So minus square root of 2 times minus square root of 2. As a result, our final sign will be positive, and square root of 2 times square root of 2 equal to 2. So our this expression equal to 2. Okay, so let's continue. So minus square root of 2 to the power 2 equal to 2. So from here we can easily use the same logic, because we have absolutely the same expression, minus square root of 2 to the power 2 equal to 2. And this is a correct expression, because minus square root of 2 times minus square root of 2 equal to 2, which is absolutely correct, because we have a positive sign, and we have square root of 2 times square root of 2 equal to 2. So the correct answer to our question is plus minus square root of 2. So let's write it on the left side. So our answer x first and second equal to plus minus square root of 2. Of course, if you have your approach, you can also write your approach in the comments below. It will be really interesting to read about your way, how you see this solution. This is my way. According to this trick, I just raised both sides to the power 2, and as a result we have, according to this property, we have really good equation. We can solve it instantly, because it's really easy for us to see what is a equal to, and as a result we have two roots, because x squared equal to 2, we have two branches, positive and negative. Yeah, so we have our solution. Yeah, so if you have your solution, your answer, you can also write it in the comments below. If you have any question, write your question as well. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Write your thoughts about this solution. Maybe you have your solution your way. It will be really interesting to read about your solution. And see you in next videos. Take care of yourself and have a great day.